You guys are not gonna believe this. Today I actually got the 435 out of my driveway and into the garage. We're gonna work on that. Before we get into that, last night I released these new hoodies. They have the pizza tachometer logo on the front, and they have the high maintenance girls, low maintenance cars design on the back. First time I've done black hoodies. I really like them. I also did royal blue Nike beanies that have this same logo embroidered on the forehead in orange, and 5 different colors of the Caffeine and Rage koozies for a 12-ounce tall boy, like a Red Bull or a White Claw or Michelob Ultra, whatever's in a tall, skinny can. So cheers to that. Everything's on the website, links in the description. Thanks for supporting Horsepower and Pizza and helping to keep this thing rolling. As the title implies, we are doing the VRSF front mount intercooler, VRSF Catless downpipe, and a BootMod3 tune. For the tune, we are actually going to change the spark plugs. This is what the forum recommends. I will link them in the description. If you guys are new here, my name is Bailey. This is not a tutorial channel, but I'll try to teach you as much as I can. Today I have my friend Sam with me. He used to have an M235 that had all of the same mods. I actually bought the tune license from Sam when he sold the car. Now he is in an M4, so he is here to help me with what we're doing. So we got lucky. V-band clamp is in the position that we need it to be in. This is the downpipe, this is the cat.
Yeah, there are 2 V-band clamps. There is one right here. This is the easier one of the 2 to get out. And then there is one right up here that comes off the hot side of the turbo. And depending on, you know, who put it on last, it's probably from the factory. It can be oriented either upside down, or the bolt can be down this way or on the side. We got lucky, and the bolt that holds the V-band clamp in place is right here. I'll move my hand out of the way. You can see it, it's right there. So we're gonna be able to get a socket on one side of it and just back it out. And then my suggestion is, when you throw the downpipe back on, which you'll see in a little bit, is leave the V-band clamp on the back side of the turbo, so you don't have to maneuver it around both new pieces that you're putting in.
The engine cover's not on the car because I have this catch can. If you're running a forced induction engine without a catch can, you should probably rethink that. You're gonna need to take it off anyway to pull all of this stuff out of the way. Makes it easier to get down and unplug the O2 sensor, so you can pull the whole downpipe out, take the O2 sensor off after you get it out, as well as you're going to need to get in there and replace your plugs. If you are doing this, you're probably going to tune the car to get rid of the check engine light, and the tune likes the different spark plugs. We pulled all the foam out of there. It's easier if you already take the cowl off. We're going to have to do that to get to the plugs anyway.
It's these 2 O2 sensors. They are color coded. One is blue, so this one is blue. And then this one back here is black, so you can't really mix them up and jam them in the wrong slots.
So these connectors are a little bit different than anything that I've ever used before. So you gotta slide up with this, and then you have to be very careful with the clips on the side. I broke one of the clips on the front one, but you gotta be very gentle. You gotta slide a screwdriver up under here to lift up on both sides of that, and then you slide the same screwdriver up under this, and when you slide the screwdriver up under there and lift up on the tab that's inside of that, it will release from this clip that's here, and now you're free. If you look down here how these O2 sensors are run, there's a clip right under here where this lower one is run underneath. That is very important because you have to route these the same way that they were, or you will melt them, and then you are going to be bad news bears.
So to get the spark plugs out, this piece goes right in here, and then this is in front of it. Make sure you pull this line out of this, and then you'll pull this all the way off, toss it to the side. There are 4 bolts on this side. There's one right here. It's gonna be tucked under here. So pull this back, you'll see it. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, then 1, 2, 3 bolts. And then what you'll do is, to get past this, you'll push down, you'll slide this whole thing out, and then you can access all 6 of those spark plugs. And to be able to slide that forward, you're gonna have to take this off. It is a T20, it's down in there. So once you take this off, you'll be able to push that down and slide that out. And then over here, this is a, I think, T25. And that's where your O2 sensors were at. You need to take that bracket off to be able to get to these two plugs.
I'm under the car taking the V-band clamps off of the downpipe. The lower one that connects to the rest of the exhaust is really rusted and going to break. So of course we just called BMW to see if they had one in stock. And of course I know they have one in stock, but their parts department already closed. But we're not gonna stop what we're doing. I'm gonna break it, get it off, get the new downpipe on, and then we'll do everything else that we need to do. So this bottom V-band clamp that connects to the back of the exhaust is broken, which I felt it was going to break, but it was going to break one time or another anyway. So I took it off anyway, and we fed the O2 sensors down here. I loosened this top clamp up here, downpipe, cat, all wiggles. I'm gonna wiggle it out of there, and we're gonna put the new one in. We out here.
It's out here.
It's out here. Yeehaw. Now we're gonna transfer these over to the new one.
Pro tip when you're doing it, orient the new downpipe in the same direction as this one came out so you can put your O2 sensors in the right place.
It's not a pro tip, that's common sense.
Well, I know that people aren't intelligent.
And cut to the clip where I had to retap the new downpipe. I bought this downpipe from my 435 used, and the kid that I bought it from must have cross-threaded his O2 sensor into this bung. I had the tools on hand to take the plug out of the other bung, measure it, be able to tell what thread it was. Luckily, the hardware store was still open, so I just ran there and they had a tap in stock. So I'm gonna tap that and clean that up and we'll be good to go. A couple tools that are super cheap that I recommend everybody have in their toolbox are some dial calipers. This set is metric, but you can also get a set of standard thread pitch gauges with a quick measurement and match this to your thread pitch, and a little bit of math. If it's metric, you can figure out exactly what thread anything is, no matter what diameter it is, even if you don't have a bolt or nut to test it with. I use this here trusty Arkansas socket set to pull those O2 sensors off. They're in there. This is the Catless one. We're gonna slam her home, and Slammin' Sammy's gonna help us with that. Booker showed up. I don't know, did we say Booker showed up? Booker's here. That's Booker. You guys know Booker. So the new Catless downpipe is in here. I did break this clamp, so I'm waiting on a new one, but everything's in there. O2 sensors are plumbed and routed properly. Front clamp is on and tight, so we will be good to go once this clamp comes in and draws that back together. So with these plugs, you're gonna have to get a gap tool. You're gonna gap them to somewhere around 23 thousandths of an inch, and they will be good to go. All right, all 6 of those are gapped to 22 to 23 thousandths. I'm gonna start working on the intercooler down yonder. Sam brought his Majestic spark plug socket. It's
12 spline.
12 spline.
14 millimeter thin wall.
Okay.
You can get them off FCP Euro. Bailey, I'm sure, will link that in the description.
Sure, they're tight, but it does go on there. Sam did this on his car.
It does. And then, so here is how you're gonna take these plugs out. You lift up on this. It's gonna eject this back piece. Pull it right like that. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a stick, put it through the top of that spark plug. Top of the coil pack. And pull up, and then it's just bloop.
And then the plug's down in yonder. All right, Sam's gonna get to that. They sent me the wrong intercooler, so now that I have the proper one, we're just doing all this at once. Could have done like 5 different videos for this, but one video, everything's all done. To take out the intercooler, you have 1 Torx screw here and 1 Torx screw here. And then you gotta pull this down, get it out of the way. And there's a clip here and a clip there. And you gotta unclip the charge pipes on the cold side and on the hot side, and that'll just pop down. Charge pipe clip, I'll just get a screwdriver underneath it, pop it out, and then you can take the charge pipe and just kind of wiggle her out of the way. That was a real bear, but only because it didn't want to come loose on the cold side. It's important to note that on the cold side, I do have the VRSF charge pipes because the stock ones on the N55 are plastic, as are these end tanks on the intercooler, and that the 90-degree bend in the plastic charge pipe is the weak point. You will audibly hear it pop if it pops before you replace it with aluminum ones. Ask me how I know.
Really, how do you know?
Well, RJ and I went down towards West Virginia one night, September of like 2019. I was a bit in my feels and I beat the absolute piss out of the car, and it went pop, and then it went drivetrain malfunction, bling bling, and then I had to drive it back to RJ's house in limp mode. There's the stock one. Here's the VRSF stepped big boy. So now I gotta wrestle that. This is the new intercooler. It's in there. It was a pain in the ass to get in there by myself. Booker helped me hold it in place to get the bolts in. Done, fuego, mint, cool. Sam is finishing up the plugs. He's putting the coil packs back in right now.
And if you want to come over here, I'll show you how to put these back in. So you're not going to hear an audible click when you go to plug these back in. So what you'll do is you'll push it in. You'll see this top part start to close on it. And then once it is limp, just click her in. Make sure these are pushed all the way in. And you're good.
We got to button up the cowl and all the stupid trim pieces and stuff that Sam had to take out of the way to get to the back plug. And then we are gonna throw a battery tender on it and hook it up to the laptop and flash the boot mode tune to it. Boot mod, boot mode, I don't know. Because Sam has done this before, I'm letting him get on my laptop and he will do the boot mod tune. If you're using boot mod, you have to use Google Chrome. It will not work in Safari.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your menu here. You're gonna go to your OTS maps. So for this car, we are going to select the 93 octane. Check where you live. You may not be able to get 93, you may be only able to get 91. But what we're going to do is select this stage 2. So the high flow downpipe, we did put that on. So you can either go Catless or high flow. It's like a 200 cell pipe, an upgraded intercooler, which we did. And then even though that it's not required or recommended in here, but they do recommend you replace your spark plugs, which we did and gap them correctly. So what you'll do is you'll select it, you'll hit get tune, and then you'll confirm. So this is the tune that we want to get. And then it's gonna say success. And then these will be the tunes that you have. So obviously you have your stock tune, and you have your OTS map. So what you'll do is you'll select it and you'll hit flash, and you're gonna hit press here to flash now. So we have the car on a battery tender. We did turn the headlights off, so they are in the off position here. All the vents are off, so there's nothing going. You need to plug your driver's seat belt in and have the door closed. Do not open or close it during it. And then if you have a JB4 or some other type of piggyback on it, make sure that it is in map 0 or position 0. Hit flash. Then it's gonna go ahead and download the BootMod3 tune from the servers. And then don't get worried, you're gonna get a ton of errors. Chassis stabilization, drivetrain, malfunction, things like that. And it's just gonna do that while it is tuning the car. Just sit here while it does it.
We'll update when it gets closer to being finished.
So you'll get some more errors with the car, and it'll cycle through again. And what it's doing right now is clearing the codes on the DME. You're just gonna continue to get errors. So as you can see, we had a successful flash of the car. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and flash the transmission next, but we wanna turn the ignition off, wait 5 seconds and start the car. But we're gonna actually flash the trans before we start the car. So get back to that in a second.
Oh, it smells Catless.
So we're gonna jump out back to the menu, and then we're gonna go down to the transmission flash. And then we're gonna do the upgraded 8-speed automatic TCU flash, and then make sure the car is in hit flash TCU, or I'm sorry, not ignition, but accessory mode. Make sure your lights are still off, make sure the fans are still off, and hit flash. And again, you're gonna get a bunch of transmission malfunction errors and things like that. So you're gonna get the same success message here after you flash the trans. You're just gonna have to wait 5 seconds, power cycle the car. So we're almost at 5 seconds here. Power cycle it, and then all the codes should be gone.
We did start the car briefly just to check that everything checks out. We started it, went into diagnostics and let it read the codes. There's no codes, so everything's good as far as that goes. Unfortunately, I did want to get out and drive the car tonight, but we did break the lower V-band clamp to the downpipe where it connects to the rest of the exhaust, and BMW isn't open until Monday. Nobody else locally here has one. So there is a bit of an exhaust leak started it briefly. It'll be fine. It's a simple fix. I'll have new tires this week as well, and we're gonna be good to go. I'm very excited. I've had all these parts sitting in my house for well over the last year. When I woke up this morning, this was not on my list of things to do. We were going to play with the free Jetta after I got off work. Texted Sam, he was already on his way over, and I was like, let's work on the 435 today. And he's like, all right, I'm all about it. So it's great to have friends that are with the shits and ready to help. So huge thank you to Sam. It's great to have friends that have already done this to help you learn a little bit. Stay tuned for the next videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Head over to horsepowerandpizza.com, @horsepowerpizza on Instagram. Peace out, build it for you.